This offseason, Major League Baseball saw the biggest contract in professional sports handed out by the Dodgers to Shohei Ohtani. And when big contracts are being handed out in any professional sport, you know teams are going to be making mistakes. And these are the 8 worst contracts currently in Major League Baseball. Let's go! Number 8. Mike Trout, LA Angels contract, 12 years, $426.5 million, a little over $35.5 million per year. He is in year 6 of this 12-year contract. I hate doing this because Mike Trout is a tremendous talent, but we now have to put this contract on this type of list. We can't avoid it any longer. Mike Trout cannot stay healthy, and it's severely impacting the Los Angeles Angels. Trout's played only 53% of games since 2019. In fact, 2023 saw his lowest OPS plus since his rookie season, and he has been a negative defender 2 of the last 3 seasons. Look, I'm not knocking Mike Trout as a player. He is a tremendous player, a tremendous ambassador of the game. He was one of the greatest of all time in his peak, but injuries have just slowed him to the point where you cannot count on him to consistently play anymore. The Angels maybe have to look at finally moving on from Mike Trout and giving him an opportunity in a new location. Or maybe it's time for Trout to look at the opportunity of moving to a different position, maybe a corner outfield spot, reduce the wear and tear on the body, or maybe DH more often. Trout is still a tremendous player. If the Angels were to move off Trout and pay down that contract a little bit, I think there would still be teams that would have a significant interest in Mike Trout. But at more than $35.5 million per season, this contract does not make sense for any team to take on for any length of time, which makes it one of the worst contracts in all of baseball. Number 7. New York Yankees designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton. He's been on these lists for a long time. 13-year, $325 million contract, $25 million per year. Stanton is now in year 10 out of 13 years of this contract. He still has only played 63% of games since 2018. He had an 87 OPS plus in 2023, his lowest of his career, and has only played 33 defensive games in 2023. His own general manager, Brian Cashman, has admitted that they just expect that Stanton is going to spend time on the injured list because it happens every year. We know his hamstrings and his legs really prevent him from running. We have seen instances along the base paths where Stanton can't even score from second on a long single, and he is severely limited to only playing DH and not being able to play any other position on the field for the Yankees. Now, early on in 2024, Stanton has shown a lot of power and is above a league average hitter. But when you're making that kind of money, you have to be better than a league average hitter, and you need to be able to play defensively in the field, and Stanton can't do any of that. It really limits the Yankees because you cannot use Judge or Soto or some of the others in a kind of off day as a DH because Stanton exists. So it really impacts the way you can run your team. I understand Stanton is still a productive player, but he has to be more productive for this kind of money and to take opportunities away to get players off their feet. And because of that, Stanton continues to have one of the worst contracts in baseball, and one you can guarantee that nobody wants any part of in any kind of trade. Yes, you look like a baseball fan. Make sure you're subscribed to 3 Up 3 Down for all kinds of quality baseball content. Now, time to get back to the action. Let's go. Number 6. Chicago White Sox outfielder Andrew Benintendi has been abysmal. 5 years, $75 million contract. It's only $15 million per year, and it's the second of 5 years for Benintendi in 2024. But last year, he had an 88 OPS plus. The White Sox are now a last place team. He had a negative O WAR and D WAR, and he has been even worse in 2024. A 44 OPS plus at time of recording. He's not hitting for average. He's not getting on base. He never has been a real slugger. So what exactly are the White Sox getting for Andrew Benintendi? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it really shows the White Sox are one of the worst teams in baseball. And one of the players they expected to help drive this offense and probably be an on-base machine up near the top of the order was Benintendi. And he's simply not that type of player the last 2 years since signing this contract. Yes, it's not the most money in the world at $15 million, but you expect a lot more out of a player that they were really banking on. And the White Sox have just crumbled and fallen to pieces. You could have put together a nice offense with Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Yoan Moncada, if they could stay healthy. And Benintendi was brought in to be a very good piece to that offense. Nothing has worked out. Too many injuries. Benintendi has crumbled as a player, so it is a long shot that the White Sox will ever be able to move off this contract. You have to hope that Benintendi starts playing a little bit better and can consistently get on base, but if that doesn't happen, he is stuck in Chicago for the duration of this deal. Number 5. Boston Red Sox shortstop Trevor Story. 6-year, $140 million contract. Story signed. $23.3 million per year. He is in year 3 of this 6-year deal, but you would hardly even know it with the amount of games that Story has played. He's played only 145 total games with Boston. He's expected to miss the remainder of 2024 with another injury. He put up only a 52 OPS plus in 2023 in the few games that he was healthy, and this just has to be one of the worst contracts in Boston Red Sox history. Story has just not been able to get healthy. He has not been able to showcase himself as the type of high-end performer that he was with the Colorado Rockies. When Story was signed, there were a lot of question marks with the signing because you could start to see the trend in downfall for Story in the 2 years prior to coming to Boston, when Story played more like a league average hitter rather than the all-star he had been in previous seasons. So it was a bad deal at the time when the Red Sox brought him in. The injury issues have continued to plague Story year after year. He cannot show that he's the type of hitter he used to be. The arm quality is reduced on defense. He's just not going to be the type of player the Red Sox want him to be, and they are going to be stuck with this contract for at least another 3 seasons, trying to figure out what to do with Story and try not to block some of the pathways of some of their young players, a la Vaughn Grissom, Cedane Raphael, that are really starting to showcase themselves at the major league level. So this contract is really going to affect the Red Sox, who have been trying to be a little bit more of a small market type team, paying less in terms of payroll, and this contract is really, really affecting that plan. Number 4, Texas Rangers right-hander Jacob deGrom. 5-year, $185 million contract went to deGrom. $37 million per season. This is year 2 of the 5-year deal. And as expected when he signed the contract, deGrom has made only 6 starts, totaling 30 1/3 innings. He has no seasons with 100 innings since 2019. And at the time of the deal, it was a very well known issue that deGrom was a health risk. So the fact that the Rangers still went ahead and spent all this money on Jacob deGrom is just baffling to so many people. Now, Texas can look at this and say, hey, we won a World Series anyway. Yes, that is true, but the deGrom contract is really going to hinder them moving forward and trying to find more rotation depth. They are struggling a little bit at the time of recording here in 2024. Yes, they're still near the top of the AL West division, but that speaks about more of the AL West than it actually does about the Texas Rangers. So they need deGrom to come back and give them some kind of boost in the starting rotation. Or something I would really push for, maybe it's time to make Jacob deGrom a reliever, a multi-inning type guy. Now, I understand he would still be vastly overpaid, but if it's a way to keep deGrom healthy, then maybe this is the best way to utilize him moving forward as a high-end reliever out of the bullpen, multi-inning guy, or maybe a high-end closer. Yes, it's still too much money. Yes, it's still a wasted contract. But at least you're getting something out of your investment. But until deGrom can get healthy and shows that he can pitch to the high standards that he used to, this is the number 4 worst contract in all of baseball. Number 3, Detroit Tigers shortstop Javier Baez. 6 years, $140 million contract that Baez signed, more than $23 million per year. This is year 3 of the 6-year deal that Baez signed. He has 272 strikeouts in the first 2 seasons in Detroit. He has an OPS plus of 91 and 62 and is in fact even worse at time recording in 2024. He was known as a tremendous defender, yet in 2022 he has -4 defensive runs saved. He was positive in that statistical category last year, but Baez is the biggest swing and miss guy in all of baseball, and he is deeply affecting the way the Detroit Tigers are able to build their team. They're not a top end payroll, they're kind of a mid payroll, but they've got some quality talent building in Detroit. You look at the start of 2024, they are an over 500 team. They have at times been near or even at the top of the AL Central early in the season. But one of the biggest things holding them back is Javi Baez. In fact, this season he has a 25 OPS plus. He's hitting 170 at time recording. He has one home run, 26 strikeouts in 33 games. The guy strikes out at least once per game, and these are some atrocious strikeouts. He swings at pitches there's no business being swung at. It's almost like he doesn't care at the plate anymore. All he cares is trying to hit a home run, and that's all that matters to him. Defensively, he has suffered as well, and this type of attitude could rub off on some of the young players in Detroit and is not a good thing to have in the clubhouse. But if you're the Tigers management, what do? You're basically hamstrung with this contract. You've paid way too much money for Javi Baez. You can keep rolling him out there and hope that things change and finally there's a spark, because it wasn't that long ago that Baez was one of the top young growing shortstops in baseball with the Cubs and even his time with the Mets. So maybe there's still a spark there to come, and at least Baez is staying healthy. But if you're a Detroit Tigers fan, you really have to hate this contract. Number 2. Colorado Rockies, Chris Bryant. Is he an outfielder? Is he a first baseman? Who knows anymore? 7-year, $182 million contract, $26 million per year that went to Bryant. He is in year 3 of 7 years with this deal. 2022, he played 42 games. 2023, he played 80 games. He had some decent stats, a 127 OPS plus in 2022. He struggled in 2023, 77 OPS plus, 10 homers, 31 RBIs. So at least before you could still say, hey, we have Chris Bryant. It's injuries. He'll bounce back. He'll be healthy and he'll be a productive player. But now that he is healthy in 2024, he's been awful. A 47 OPS plus, 149 batting average, 273 on base for Chris Bryant. He has only one home run with the Rockies in the 13 games that he's played. Chris Bryant, this deal didn't make sense at the time. The Rockies stunk when they signed him. Now they stink because they signed him, and that's a huge part of this deal. The Rockies have been a mess for years, and this Chris Bryant contract is a perfect example. You can't even trade this contract anymore because people are going to look at him and say he's not worth it anymore. At least the first year, even into the second year, you could say Chris Bryant is still a decent baseball player. He is showing none of that ability here this season. There is absolutely no way the Rockies are going to get out from under this contract. So you just have to live with it and continue to roll him out there and hope that he can produce a little bit and maybe get some interest in terms of a trade. But the Rockies have butchered this contract. Chris Bryant has not lived up to his end of the deal. He's even called out the organization, said maybe he should look closer at the team before he signed there. You think? You were a free agent. You could have gone anywhere you wanted. You took the big payday to be near home, and now you want to rip on the team? That's not going to fly. Chris Bryant, the second worst contract in all of baseball. Some quick honorable mentions. Shohei Ohtani, 10 years, $700 million contract. I name this only because what if Shohei doesn't pitch and become healthy? If he pitches, I don't have any issue with this deal, but that's my concern there. Carlos Correa, 6-year, $200 million deal. He's bouncing back this season. Carlos Rodon is back to being healthy. 6-year, $162 million for the Yankees. He hasn't pitched great, but he hasn't been bad, so I'm going to leave that as an honorable mention. Xander Bogaerts, it's the length of the deal, 11-year, $280 million left, and he's already been moved to play second base. That looks like a terrible deal long-term for the Padres. Same with Jake Cronenworth, 7 years, $80 million, just kicked in this year. That's a really ugly-looking contract for the Padres as well. And someone that was brought up a lot when I've done videos like this before is Lance McCullers Jr. with the Astros. 5 years, $85 million. You just never know when Lance McCullers is going to be healthy, so definitely an honorable mention on this list. And number 1, This is easy. Third baseman Anthony Rendon, Los Angeles Angels. 7 years, $245 million, $35 million per year. This is year 5 of the 7-year deal. Rendon has only played 37% of games since 2019. He hasn't hit 10 home runs in a season since 2019. And he has been quoted as saying, baseball is not a top priority for him. Really? After all these years, all this money, and I actually think Anthony Rendon is a really highly thought of player after having won that World Series and produced so much for the Nationals, to move over the Angels and basically admit now that you do not care about baseball. You've been paid, and this is one of the worst looks for any professional athlete ever. Anthony Rendon has made a mockery of the free agency and the huge money awarded to him in this contract. At time of recording, he is hurt once again. It looks like he's going to play very few games for the Angels, collect his money, and just go on his merry way. I have said this before, the Anthony Rendon contract ruined the opportunity for the Angels to thrive with Ohtani and Trout. The Trout injuries didn't help much either, but Anthony Rendon is easily one of, if not the worst signing in all of baseball history with what he's produced through this contract. It is simply not fair to Angels fans to continue to have this player on the roster and involve their team. But what else do? You have to pay him anyway, so you might as well see if you can get anything out of the player. Anthony Rendon, easily the worst contract in all of baseball. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of a video here on 3 Up, 3 Down. If you think I have missed anyone off this list or needs to be added to the top 8 from the honorable mentions, make sure you comment down below. I comment back to everybody who comments here on a 3 Up, 3 Down video. As always, check me out on the mobile device as well, so you're subscribed to the channel. We do all kinds of stuff on the community tab. I'm really pushing this as we move into the summer. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like, share this video with all of your baseball friends so we can continue to grow here on 3 Up, 3 Down. As always, go check out some of my previous content. We're having a lot of fun with some out of the park baseball. Go check out that Berries playlist. As well, go check out some of my previous videos talking about how catchers are thriving in Major League Baseball in 2024. Until next time, take care, everyone.